Hi, I'm Andy Cocktaildress from Co-op Culture, and welcome to another of our short instructional videos for co-ops, community businesses, and their development workers. In this series of videos, we're looking at the work that one must do before starting to create detailed financial projections, or how you organize the work in your detailed financial projections. This particular video, we're going to be looking at layout and labeling, and some tips that I have to try and make your spreadsheets and your financial projections easier to understand for other people and to prevent yourself getting too confused. So, as a general sort of tips for using spreadsheets, and it's not necessarily just for financial projections, but the context that we're using is financial projections. You should try and organize your work. Make it very clear what is happening where. So by this, I often mean having different sheets for different things. I've seen a lot of spreadsheets where they will put the profit and loss followed by the cash flow, followed by the balance sheet, all on one sheet, sort of underneath each other. And that makes it very hard for people to see very clearly what's going on. I've also seen lots and lots and lots of spreadsheets with all the assumptions put on the same sheet as the sort of the outputs, the things that you're going to want to print, and see previous videos for the concept of output sheets or to print sheets. So first of all, organize your work. Have clearly defined work areas, and to do that, have borders, have boxes, blocks of color. So this inside this box or inside this chunk of color is this work area, and then potentially another chunk of color for a different work area. Yeah, and I put a border around it. Because I'm recommending that you use many sheets, I will strongly recommend that you label your sheets and you label them sensibly, and you don't just do sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. If you are using LibreCalc, which is what I tend to use, name the sheet. Name it with exactly what it is. Yeah. To print, P and L, 20-year forecast, because you're allowed to have as long a name as possible as you want in the sheet name. If you're using Excel, where I think there is a character limit, and you're using a code to label your sheets, then you need to have a README sheet, which has what all the sheets, the codes and a full description of what the sheets do. You should bold the key bits of information so that your eyes are, or not necessarily your eyes, but other people's eyes are drawn naturally to the bit of information that you're most interested in them seeing. And conversely, that doesn't mean you should bold everything. And I have seen that a lot in spreadsheets where people just bold everything, and then there's no distinction between what is bolded and what isn't bolded. So there's not much point in that. So I'm going to go through some examples of what I mean by these things. So in terms of organizing your work, or in terms of having, borders, boxes, and blocks of colors, this is a spreadsheet that enables you to, it's a single sheet, and it enables you to calculate the monthly and then the yearly mortgage repayments, and what is going to be interest, what is the actual payment, what is the balance at the end. Now there are 3 distinct blocks in this spreadsheet. There is the dashboard where you enter the information. So this is how much you're borrowing, the interest rate and the length, etc., etc. There is the key output sheet, which tells you, okay, well, what is the regular monthly payment? What do you think the interest rate is going to be at that point if it rises by 3% over 10 years? What is the key outputs you need for your different sheets. So what is the ending balance, which you'll need for your balance sheet? What was the total payments, which you'll need for your cash flow statement, forecast, sorry. And what was the interest payment, which you'll need for the P&L. And then it has another sheet, another box that actually literally lists every payment, and it's the working out box. But because I've kept them separate and I've put a board around them all, and they're all in blocks of colors, you can see very easily that they are separate workspaces. And you're not going to get confused, and you don't really need to be looking at this. This is just calculations. This is the input, this is the output. So to use the border or a block of colors, the things to do is highlight all the cells that you wish to be working in. So often I work with organizations that have 40-year mortgages, so hence the fact that they go on so far. And then you format cells. So first of all, I'm going to remove all borders and make the background none. And you can see that now that would be very confusing if that was if all of the spreadsheet was like that. It would be quite hard to see what was going on. So to make the box highlight all the cells in it, either go to format cells, or right click format cells. So then you want to put a box in, which is the background, and you want to put a border around it, and you want a single line border, and you want it to go all the way around just the outside of the cells. Yeah, you don't want a border around every cell. That makes it very difficult to read. Okay, wrong color. Actually, that gives me a chance to show you the other way of doing it, which is up here. I need to work out what the color is. Okay. Cells, background. Sometimes you actually just need to write that down. So it's 255, 204, 153. Or FFCC99. FFCC99. You see the hex number here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this, and we highlight everything, use format cells, background FFCC99. Done. So that's organizing your work in terms of using different colored blocks and keeping the sort of workings out separate. The next thing that I recommended is that if you have lots of sheets, having clearly defined sheets with lots of well labeled. So as you can see, this is a spreadsheet I did for a client. There are many sheets. So yeah, many sheets, because they are a very complicated project. There's lots of existing stuff going on that I had to calculate what was going on, then look at the new thing that they want to do, and then combine everything together. So I have labeled all of the sheets very thoroughly. So all of the loans that they have out are labeled with the name of the loan. I've summarized them. So loan summary sheet. the new loan that they were taking out for the project that they're doing. They are their existing community shares that they have, their new community shares that they want for this project, their current management accounts, and what their fixed assets look like and their fixed asset depreciation, the historic finances. So I've got a starting balance point, and then the three forecasts that you'll need. Sorry, that's labeled. That's not in the right place. I also try to order my sheets in a sensible fashion. So then you need the three balance sheets that you need, which is a P&L, which in this case is called a SOFA because they're a charity, a cash flow, and a balance sheet. So I've got the three of them. I've got the same for the project and then combined. So whilst there is lots of sheets in this, they're all clearly labeled and you can easily see what each sheet does. One of the other ways that I define workspaces is by putting a colored border around the workspace, which can look quite good when printing. Obviously, my choice of color, I'm not a graphic designer, and you choose your own colors, don't pick mine. But you can, but I think other people prefer different ones. And that's really helpful because it enables me to know what's inside the sort of the workspace and what's my assumption. So a classic example of that would be in balance sheets. One of the things that I will be doing is checking that my balance sheets balance. So there will be some sums that I put in there that are just checks. So I always make sure that they're outside of the sort of workspace. And the way I would do that is that I would make the columns either side of where I'm actually putting the data. I will change their column width to 0.52 or 0.5 is fine. And I'll miss out the first row, and then the last row, I'll then just highlight those cells. So highlight all of the cells. Around there. And again, just change the color, either using the format cells menu, or right click format cells, or the background color menu here. So I could make them all yellow, which would look horrible, and I'm not going to. I'm going to go back to where they were. So that's a good way of defining the work area, and especially so if you have assumptions on the same sheet, you might have your assumptions here. So for instance, I think this is a very small example of that, but I've seen quite a lot, like sheets with quite a lot of assumptions put in this put next to the P&L. If you are going to do that, you definitely need to say this is the P&L part of it, and this is the actual forecast, and those are the assumptions. And the way to do that is by putting some form of border around the work that you're doing. And then bolding the things that are important. So, for this, the things that I'm probably going to want to take out of this and put in an output table, or put into my share offer document, would be my fixed assets, my net current assets, and my net worth. And the way that that now I can see very clearly that those are the lines, because they're bolded, those are the lines I'm most interested in. If I bolded everything in this cell, in this box, I'll use the Control B function to bold. I can't really see what's important and what isn't. Yeah. So that was this video on sort of laying out your work and labeling. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you found it informative. If you did like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell to be notified if we upload more videos for co-ops, community businesses, and their development workers. Thank you all for watching.